Political leaders and dignitaries this morning are set to pay tribute to former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Her funeral service will take place at the Washington National Cathedral. Albright passed away last month at the age of 84. NBC News reporter Julia Jester joins us now from Washington with a preview. Julia, good morning. The former Secretary of State was widely admired. Give us a rundown of what we can expect to see during today's service in her honor.
Good morning, Vicky. You will see a lot of big names and important figures in American politics and international affairs at former Secretary Madeleine Albright's funeral this morning. There will be Bill Clinton, who appointed her in 1996 to be the first female Secretary of State, as well as Hillary Clinton, both speaking. And then President Biden is set to eulogize her. And in addition to them, you can expect a lot of foreign diplomats and world leaders, as well as a bipartisan group from the congressional delegation. Speaker Pelosi is expected to attend, as well as Minority Leader Steny Hoyer, Majority in the House, Steny Hoyer, as well as Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Now, it's not just the big names that will be there. Her daughters will be there as well. And the president of Georgetown University, where Madeleine Albright taught for 40 years, will be there. She taught more than 2,000 students while at Georgetown, and some of her teaching assistants will actually be ushers at the funeral. So it will be both a personal as well as a public affair, and so you can expect to see not only names from the present, but also past secretaries of state who came after her there honoring Secretary Albright.
Julia, as you mentioned, President Biden is going to give the eulogy at the service. Do we have a sense of what he's going to touch on, especially poignant as today is National Holocaust Remembrance Day? The war in Ukraine continues to escalate. So in light of current events and her legacy, what do we expect him to say?
Yes, absolutely. President Biden worked with Madeleine Albright when he was in the Senate in the 90s on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And so he will talk very personally about her, but also about her legacy, which right now is quite relevant in, as you mentioned, the context of foreign affairs. And if you want a sneak peek of what Biden is going to say, you can look at his statement he released when Albright first passed away last month. He called Albright, quote, a force for goodness, grace, and decency, and for freedom. And he also said that hers were the hands that turned the tide of history, and there was no more committed champion of democracy and human rights than Madeleine Albright. Madeleine Albright was a, quote, refugee who needed safe haven. So Biden will probably touch on her own experience fleeing persecution in Eastern Europe. Albright was actually the first U.S. official to meet with President Vladimir Putin of Russia in 2000, shortly after he was elected. And throughout the years, Albright pushed for eastward NATO expansion, and shortly before her death even wrote about the perils and potential danger of Putin invading Ukraine and what that would mean for the world. So he will probably touch on the personal and professional aspects of her life.
She had very valuable perspective indeed. Julia Jester, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.